Before a new year begins, things must come to an end as we have reached the world's end in all elite wrestling before they head to Max as we discuss the conclusion of the Continental Classic. Will revenge be found and a ring be bared? Will we see John Moxley purge all elite wrestling of the entire landscape of those that oppose what he believes AEW should be as long as he holds the gold? And can second time be the charm for Chris Statlander to once again be the face of TBS? And will we see somebody buried 6 feet under and forgotten in a very personal street fight? This and so much more ahead in the final, simply predicting of 2024. This is All Elite Wrestling, and this is World's End. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the discussion. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again for the last time for 2024 to Simply Predicting AEW World's End. You know what this is. I am, of course, the leader, founder, creator of the Simply Predicting forum that you see here. My name is Noel Foster. Forever grateful for all things wrestling. Damn it. And I'm always grateful for those that have joined me continuously, one time, one off, sporadically. It doesn't matter when. Everyone's enjoyed this fun this year. And Simply Predicting will be back across all 5 leagues I share. There'll be an announcement tomorrow on my YouTube channel regarding the league conclusions, the league's winners, and of course the City Days that are coming, including some special editions for the very first week of the new year. Good to see everybody in the chat, whether you're watching this live or on demand. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Again, if you want to dictate the conversation, PayPal my friends, support their passions, or super chat. It's as simple as that. And if you want to be part of the league, your opinions matter too. You'll find a link to the forum down below in the description. You also will find, of course, in the comment section once the streams conclude. Not to mention, I, of course, am keeping track, and this is the final stop of the All Elite League. Good luck to everybody in and out of Team ODQ and the Galaxy, including the very gentleman here. All right, so now that I got all the shows out of the way, let's go ahead and get everybody's thoughts about World's End before we get right into it. JJ, been a long year for us in AEW, to say the least, when it comes to our mentalities and what we've enjoyed and what we've questioned when it comes to all the wrestling. But I think you got a good sense of what you're looking forward to on this show. And again, a light main card. How you feel about tonight's pay-per-view, bro?
I feel like it's going to be a solid show. AEW always delivers when it comes to pay-per-view events. Their weekly product is what it is, but they always manage to set up the heavy hitters when it comes time for the pay-per-view. So it should be a good show. I think we're all just really anticipating how AEW's world will end here tonight.
Yeah, and what begins and what is created out of it. Are we suddenly the earth? Are we purging it? Are we recreating it? Is a new beginning on the horizon in a brighter light of violence led by John Moxley as we head to Max in the Mother of All simulcast? A lot of suspension of disbelief is out in the air, but for World's End, a very fitting name, I sense we're going to have some definitive conclusions tonight. Walter, the hardest working man this year outside JJ. Again, thank you for everything you've done in reimagining what has become the Simply Reliable Studios. And it's been an absolute honor being Simply Reliable with you. And I look forward to our call tonight on this pay-per-view too. How you feel about World's End, my friend?
I'm feeling good. If the way Rampage ended is any indication of how the world's gonna end, I'm ready for this because I love the way they did that, what they did last night for AEW. So I'm looking forward to it. Some matches more than the other. I mean, we know how I feel about women, but the fact that the that one person that's in that match is in it. But I keep my personal issues aside when I'm doing the watch along. So, but I'm ready to go.
It's the best way to enjoy wrestling. As I always encourage everybody to protect their mentality. There's so much good. You can look past the boo crap. I looked at the timer. So I definitely respect that. And returning to the predicting for the last time this year, as I saw one of my other horsemen in the chat, one of my other fellow horsemen of predictions this year. And yes, I'll have the overall scores combined for all 5 leagues after this show. So good luck to you, bruv. And shout out to Jeff Chadwick, of course. Follow MLW, folks. Or MWL, excuse me. Botch. Chris it's good to see you one last time. It's been a while, my friend. How you feeling about World's End?
I'm feeling good tonight. I'm gonna give this show I'm gonna give it about a 7 out of 10. It should be a good and exciting pay-per-view. It's good to be back here on Simply Predicting. I hope in 2025 AEW can recover after the long year we had with AEW in 2024. I do hope that 2025 is recovery year for AEW, and we see AEW be back on what AEW used to be in the early stages of their AEW run. Good luck to everybody in the prediction league tonight, and always say yeah to NoDQ.com.
Yeah, shout out to Aaron Riff, by the way, and stay tuned, folks, for Boss Man Riff, of course, who will do his recap following AEW World's End. He's a crazy mammoth like us who's here on the East Coast that never seems to stop following this business. Good to see Pop in the chat from Kids World, Kids World. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for all the support. Ain't he great? And I mean that quite literally. But I know someone else that's great too that we're going to talk about here in a moment. So I think without further ado, for the last time here in 2024, city predicting friends, fellow wrestling fans, community, first time goers, and constant followers, gentlemen and ladies. Let's get right into it. So, yes, this is the final stop of 2024 for the biggest shows of the calendar year in the professional wrestling business on the Western Front, because, of course, I watch Stardom. This is AEW's last pay per view, World's End. And of course, it emanates from Orlando, Florida, in the Edition Arena. The pre-show starts 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be covering the 0 Hour in full, but we'll be also going live, a little bit of pre-hype at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across the Super Reliable Studios. The actual pay-per-view starts 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and of course, you can find select pay-per-view providers, including Triller TV, and we will be covering it entirely. And again, we have 8 matches on the main card and 3 on the 0 Hour. He's learning. He's actually doing less matches overall, and he's actually doing less matches on the main card. I applaud growth and effort, even if it's in small spurts. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it and talk about the 0 Hour, because there certainly has been somebody that has been on my radar, but I've appreciated him lately being in my world. And I know JJ is going to tell you how great he is, because his name is spelled JEFFJARRET, the one and only Jeff Jarrett, going one-on-one with a guy that really has a lot of breakout matches and is looking for his breakout victory. QT Marshall. This really picked up after Ring of Honor Final Battle when Jeff Jarrett played a one-hit wonder over Aaron Solo's head with that braid guitar you see in his hand, and proverbially caused QT Marshall that match against Black Machismo, Jay Lethal, in what was a sleeper of the night. And QT Marshall has made it absolutely personal with everybody that he could. All right, JJ, straight up, we're talking about Double J, so it's only fitting that I let Double J talk about Double J. What do you expect to see from this match? Why don't you go ahead and talk a little about Jeff Jarrett and how you think him being part of AEW has helped with company image and outreach?
Okay, as far as company image and outreach, I don't really know. I mean, it's Jarrett is a great mind and needs to be tasked with a lot more from TK, but that's a whole other can of worms. Like, I'm expecting this match to be as fun and chaotic as the Ring of Honor match was between QT Marshall and Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I think Jarrett's going to get this one. Jarrett's been on a losing streak. I feel like he needs to turn things around here heading into 2025. We're hearing a lot of people announce retirements. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jarrett hang up the boots before 2025's end. He really has nothing else to prove. You know, he multi-time world champion. It's not like he's going to become the AEW champion. He's already the Texas Chainsaw Massacre champion for AEW, undefeated, by the way. Yeah, let me see some of the other champions in AEW history say that one.
Son of a bitch.
Stop me when I'm telling lies, Noah.
Damn it, you're not. Continue.
I mean, granted, he hasn't defended it since he won it, but he's still undefeated for that title. So, you know, don't blame Jeff Jarrett because Tony Khan hasn't booked him to defend it.
The quality. Continue.
But pretty much every match QT Marshall has had has been a losing effort as well. So I just feel like we're going to keep things going, and Jeff Jarrett's going to get the victory here.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a disagreement here in this opening bout. And by the way, shout out to the 34 of you so far that's put in your predictions, include but not limited to my friend Kyle Benarama, Bacon_Space, best name ever. Drew Slakowski, Charlene, Matthew, of course, Mark in the chat, our own General Jerry Slaughter, Big Baller G, Replicant, Chris, I see yours, Kimberly, Sienna, Steve Mesa, Con Andrew, and many others. Thank y'all. And again, your predictions are final 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So get them in and make sure that you're certain in your predictions, especially when it comes to the Continental Classic. But here's the thing I hope for, because here's the one commonality with QT Marshall's latest matches. He plays off his opponent's gimmick. He brought the Doom against the Boom. He brought NW No. I love that comment, by the way, by Caprice Coleman against Black Machismo. So we know that Double J, Jeff Jarrett, once rode out on a horse and had his own little ditty. And I'm pretty sure QT Marshall will be with his baby tonight. So I wonder if QT is going to take a play away from Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and maybe bring those guitars to the ring. I think this is going to be the most fun match you'll get to call in the 0 hour. But either way, I'm going with Double J, Jeff Jarrett, kabonging QT Marshall before the final bell rings. I got Double J as well, the last outlaw. Yes, AC great. All right. Is there any disagreements before we continue? Going once, going twice. The guitars have it. All right. Very simple. I love that. Very nice. Okay. All
Very
right.
nice,
I just knew I had to
very
start with that. Yeah, I just knew I had to start with that. All right, Walter, we're going to go crisscross here and start with you on this one, and let's see how you ready to rock with Tony Storm, because it's Tony time once again. As Tony Storm coming back from amnesia, I think, is going one-on-one against Layla Gray. Layla Gray, of course, looking for her own breakout moment before the year's end and trying to build a brighter start to her new year after a commanding effort against Thunder Rosa last night and seeing the ascension with Top Flight. Top Flight right now looks like they're on the verge of crashing on the runway, and Layla Gray might want to leave the plane before she's part of a disaster. Either way, Tony Storm right now is currently undefeated since her return, and right now she is basically starting over. It's Tony time once again, but she still has a timeless, let's say, aura to her. And after what happened last night, something tells me the Vendetta will not be too far behind after basically catching Lamar Loca, Taya Valkyrie in a simple roll up. So, Walter, go ahead and talk a little bit about this match. Who do you got winning? And could you see the Vendetta coming back for revenge? Because you know what happens when you fuck with the family.
Gray really impressed me when we did the watch along for Rampage last night, and she proved that she deserves to be better booked, especially when she has the Virtuosa at her side. Like, you would think she would be a bigger deal. But I think the arc is all about Tony Storm and what she's getting to. She's got to go back to getting that title, and she's just going to start on the beginning of the roller coaster before we get to the tip and then see what happens. So Tony Storm is going to win without a doubt. She's undefeated since the return, like you said, so I can't wait to see this match. But this better be at least a main event part of the 0 hour, because the fact that Tony Storm is on the 0 hour is a fucking ridiculous. I don't know what Tony Khan is thinking. Like, you could at least use Tony Storm as the opener of the pay-per-view. You didn't have to put her on the 0 hour, so she better at least main event this 0 hour part. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to go on the rant now, but
Man, you
especially
can do that.
At least
Yeah.
make people super chat for the rant.
Yeah, people. You want
exactly.
rants. You got to PayPal the man or super chat. It's as simple as that. Continue.
Yeah, but yeah, Tony deserves. Wow, Tony deserves to be on the actual pay per view. I'll get it together, but
I
yeah,
know you will.
I say she wins completely. Like I think the match will be good, but she's definitely gonna win.
Yeah, and here's my thing about the Tony Storm return. Think about it. Tony Storm believes that now she's officially All Elite. She's just starting. When you're just starting in All Elite Wrestling, you're not familiar with the audience. So if we're going to keep following this amnesia or crisis in confidence, midlife crisis storyline, then you got to consider Tony Storm in her own mind thinks herself as a newbie. So in a way, the 0 hour booking makes sense for the character development before she's bonked on the head with something stronger than Jeff Jarrett's guitar and she remembers exactly who she is. So for me, I'm not mad at this booking because at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for Layla Gray, and you get to call a Tony Storm match, which I'm kind of a little bit jealous about. But yeah, I got Tony Storm as well. And by the way, so far it's unanimous for both this match and the last match. Last match has Double J, and this match one has Tony Storm. I think everyone's going to be unanimous here. So unless we have a disagreement, we'll move on. Going once, going twice, rock on. All right. And again, what is it going to take for somebody to get their memory back named Tony Storm when RJ City can't be your freaking therapist? I'm just saying. What's happening here? What's happening here? Someone, what's happening? What do you guys say?
I got Tony Storm winning no matter what. And personally, this character of Tony Storm, she has gone back to the early days of the Rockstar AEW gimmick. And I just feel in a way she's going to remember what she is all about. And she will be going back as timeless Tony Storm once she remembers who she really is. And I personally believe Tony Storm, she's going to have of her breakout moment, and she's going to challenge for the AEW Women's World Champion at Grand Slam Australia.
Well, that's what everyone's thinking so far. But that being said, Chris, you talk about going back in time. Let's see you spin back in time and get as young as the youngest man of the century, because you get to talk about this shebang. Let's go ahead and talk about this 8-man dance as we have the Outriders go teaming up with Top Flight, taking on Leo Rush, Action Andretti. Might I add, the new number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Just saying. And currently representing the Don Callis family, the former Ring of Honor Television Champion, the Machine, Brian Cage, and of course the Murder Cop Monster, Lance Archer. They are known as murder machines. Definition of heels versus faces, and 4 different tag teams here that could be buying for a private party and be invited to the party. And of course, we've seen the fallout of Top Flight when Leo Rush and Action Andretti beat Darius and Dante Martin at the expense of Layla Gray and a bump there. Of course, earning that impromptu number contender spot. Everyone, though, has been basically calling Outriders their team of the later half this year, and they want to see them and FTR lead this division. Of course, FTR ain't coming back to January 1st. I'm still holding out for the Outriders getting their first chance to lead the Tag Team Championships, also in a traditional match next year. And of course, the Outrunners, they were part of that fatal 4-way at Full Gear. And the Don Callis family, they may be looking stronger than ever, but Brian Cage did just lose his Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Okay, Chris, so now it's on you, bruv. Who do you got winning this 8-man tag? Do you got the good guys, or do you got the heels and the most ridiculous inflatable jackets I've ever seen?
Well, this should be a fun and entertaining tag team match, to say the least. I got the Outrunners and Top Flight gain the win here on the 0 hour, because with the 0 hour, they want to have all majority of the baby faces win to give interest on people buying the pay-per-view. So I got Top Flight and Outrunners winning today.
Now, let's be honest here. Everyone's become a fan of the Outrunners, all right? Even Jeff, when we first called them on the Ring of Honor, put us on our 0 hour, and he lost his shit on their names. Turbo Floyd, Truth Madam, made VHS filtering, small screen promoing, vaporware, and fanny packs cool again in wrestling in 2024. And that speaks values to your character. So, yeah, I'm not betting against the Outrunners either. I'm going with Outrunners in Top Flight. And believe it or not, I think people are just considering that, well, you can't have Leo Rush and Action Andretti lose here. They're not one contenders of the tag titles. Although this man did have an idea of possibly a triple threat, depending on that kerfuffle we saw last night on Rampage. But yeah, I'm going with the baby faces here as well. It's 80% in favor of baby faces versus 20% for the heels. So right now we got 2 baby faces. Do we have any heels? Going once, going twice. Damn it, JJ. Go ahead. Why do you think Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and the Monster Machines are going to get this?
The only reason I think they're going to get it is because Chris said that they're going to have the baby faces win every match on the 0 hour. I feel like you've got to have at least a split here somewhere. And I feel way too strongly about Jeff Jarrett and Tony Storm. I feel like the Outrunners can eat a loss here. I'd actually prefer Top Flight eating the loss, if we're being honest, keep the Outrunners strong. But I feel like that team can eat the L here, keep the Outrunners strong, keep Leo Rush and Action Andretti strong going into their eventual title match, and get a victory for the Murder Machines, because I want Lance Archer to actually do something that freaking matters.
That's fair. I mean, again, former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion, former IWGP United States Champion, a guy that's had countless attempts at the AEW World Championship under the most extreme violence of circumstances, by the way, including against John Moxley at one point, just saying. And now he is with the Don Callis family, and you wonder if Brian Cage and Lance Archer could become tag champions since Brian Cage lost the World Television Championship. So I get that, but it's just one of those things where I look at the 0 hour and to Charles kind of thing. It is kind of fun. And I do think beforehand, we've had 0 hours literally go all babyface. I think it's almost a common trend more often than not in AEW, but it's a fair analysis. So we'll see what happens. And I would consider if Top Flight pins Action and Leo Rush, then there is their buy in towards maybe your triple threat idea for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Just saying. All right.
Fair enough.
Walter, do you have anything to add to this since we got one heel now?
Well, my brother kind of read my mind. That's what I was going to say. If they are the ones that are going to get the shot at Private Party after, why would you make them lose now? It would make no sense. You need valuable contenders. You need to prove that why they are the number one contenders. So they need to win. Like otherwise, why the hell would I think they can beat Private Party if they can't beat the Outrunners right now?
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, still, Outrunners, that's always just fun to call. That's going to be entertaining. Okay. Well, that concludes the 0 hour. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this card, and let's get to the end of World's End because we got a lot to discuss. And we are going to start with, I think, the Continental Classic because that's a forefront. And of course, it's going to emanate throughout the night because we're going to have both semifinals and the finals. Again, for those that don't know, the Continental Classic was a round robin tournament, a tradition by AEW. It's the second ever round robin tournament, and we have two participants from each block taking place tonight in semifinals. The top of the gold face the secondary of the blue, and the top of the blue face the secondary of the gold. And your four men that will be determining this year's Continental Champion are the following. It will be Ricochet and Will Ospreay for the goalie, Ricochet being the top seed, and the defending champion Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada and the proto star Kyle Fletcher. And your matches go like this. And the winner of these two matches will face off in the finals at World's End as well to determine this year's Continental Champion. Let's go ahead and start things off talking about this match. And I believe we will start with Walter on this one. It's the defending champion, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, going one-on-one against the man out of this world with a new moxie and attitude who's been punked a couple of times and pressured by Swerve Strickland. We'll see if he crashes and burns. Ricochet. Ever since Ricochet lost against Konosuke Takeshita for the AEW International Championship, he has been undefeated under this new attitude, with wins already against the likes of Will Ospreay. That really surprised everybody. So, Walter, I put it towards you now to shape your road to the finals. One of these men has to lose. Do you have Okada moving forward? Do you have Ricochet surprising us and upsetting the Rainmaker?
Um, I gotta admit, I like this new side of Ricochet. Like, I'm kind of glad he did this, but damn it, this is Okada's moment to shine to me, and I need an Okada. And I'm just ruining my other prediction now. I need an Okada Osprey final. I completely need that. Like, and I said it at the beginning since they revealed everybody. I said what I want the finals to be: either Fletcher versus Osprey, which they did in the semifinals now, or Okada and Osprey. But I've had Osprey locked since the beginning, so in order for my prediction to keep true, I can't just switch it. So I got to change I can't just switch it. So I got to keep Okada. But damn it, this is going to be a hell of a match. And I can't wait. Like I'm so glad that, like I said yesterday, I'm glad the young fucks aren't around because Okada gets to shine and he doesn't have to be that. They're pretty much their little lapdog. But I mean, he never was, but you know what I mean. Like just representing that group, he just gets to be out there by himself, do what he does best. You follow his career, showing the New Japan version of himself and who Okada really is. And they're showing the real Rainmaker. So I think he not destroys Ricochet. It's going to be a good back and forth match, but like, and if I was the booking, like, because I know JJ Lace is there, I would open with the Continental because if you're gonna do the finals on the same night, you need to give these people rest. So I would open with one of these Continental matches. I don't know which one you want to open with, but I would definitely open so that they could rest and come back out later.
That's exactly my thoughts too when I think about again setting the pace because you gotta remember the winner of the Continental Classic has to win 2 matches on the same night. And by the way, these matches have no time limit. There has to be winners. All right. Well, Walter has set the bout for the first finalist to be Rainmaker, the defending champion, Kazuchika Okada. And according to the poll, not unanimous, though. There is 77% in favor of the Rainmaker, while 23 are not throwing toilet paper at Ricochet. So, a very interesting dynamic. And again, Ricochet trying to prove a point ahead of Wrestle Dynasty, where he has Zack Sabre Jr. waiting for him. And might I add, if Zack Sabre Jr. wins, successfully defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, ones that we're calling Wrestle Kingdom 19, Zack Sabre Jr. will defend that title against Ricochet at Wrestle Dynasty. But you guys know me as a fan for a long time, and one of my top 5 wrestlers of all time is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Beach. I'm not betting against him. I gotta go with Okada here, especially if he's trying to surpass Mr. August himself, Masahiro Chono, for winning 5 round-robin tournaments. I gotta go with Okada. So it's 2 Okadas right now. Does anyone have a disagreement right now before we move on, or any further to say? Going one, yeah. Says JJ.
Ricochet is going to take this one.
What?
Okada has been a shell of himself since putting pen to paper for AEW. He has had to be with the Young Bucks to get over. Okada has not been allowed to get over by being Okada. And granted, the Bucks are gone for now. But until he officially separates from them, he's going to forever be associated with them.
Well then. Okay.
Sorry.
That's bold. I mean, no, don't be sorry. That's bold. Whoop. Technical difficulties. Let's go ahead and try that again. Your prediction was so outlandish, it dropped Chris. All right. Well, I got you back, Chris. All right. So we got an opposing ballot. So 2 Okadas, 1 Ricochet. Budget. It's one of the biggest matches that we're here tonight. So, Chris, what's your thoughts on this? Do you got the Rainmaker or do you got the one and only?
Who I got in the Continental Classic semifinals with Okada and Ricochet. I got Kazuchika Okada heading to the finals here tonight. So I got Kazuchika Okada beating Ricochet.
All right, by the way, Kazuchika, but I applaud you for your attempt in saying his name. All right. Well, I mean, again, that's the reason I love wrestling, especially these tournaments where it's more about the strongest competition or maybe the smartest, because Ricochet has been outsmarting people lately and telling the audience to suck it. So, again, you might be onto something, JJ. You've been wildly correct before, and I've hated you for it. So we shall see. We shall see indeed. Okay. Well, that was a fun match. Let's go ahead and move on here. And James is not here to, of course, plead for MJF like smart Mark Sterling, who represents him. But who is the villain? Who is the victim? Who will be the hero? Who will be defeated? Will revenge be found? Will a ring be bared? Is it undisputed? Or will you thank him later? JJ, it's on you for this one. Let's go ahead and talk about everyone's favorite scumbag, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the 5-time successfully defending holder of the Diamond Ring against his former Borchacho, Adam Cole. A story literally 1 year in the making. Plus, ever since these bros came together last year during the summer of AEW as an impromptu tag team and made it all the way to a tag team tournament to the finals and took on FTR, we saw MJF drop his guard and show kindness, friendship, and welcoming to MJF, almost showing a lighter, tender side of him. To the point, these two main event at the biggest event in AEW history, all in last year. And of course, Adam Cole lost. But it seemed like things were still cheeky and cheery. Fast forward, though, we have seen the fall of MJF, the return. We have seen the return of Adam Cole trying to be a greater devil than the devil himself. And it's cost him maybe a friendship with Kyle O'Reilly. And it also cost Roderick Strong some of his career as he's out with injury. All right, JJ, so it's on you. Does it end tonight? Whose worlds end here? Who leads with the ring? Who do you have winning this match?
I feel like you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit in the wind. You don't bet against Roman Reigns.
Right.
You don't bet against MJF. But I also feel like if Adam Cole doesn't win this match, then why the hell did we reignite the feud in the first place? So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going with Adam Cole, baby.
All right. Wow. Well, okay. Well, we have a ballot for Adam Cole, but is it undisputed? Do we have a disagreement here? Going once, going twice. Chris, go ahead. You have MJF, considering MJF lost the AEW Championship last year to Samoa Joe, talking about Samoans, and Adam Cole revealed himself to be that devil. But we also saw the insecurities of MJF exposed once again on Dynamite when MJF knew Adam Cole was going to do it, but he was going to do it first. He just did it before him. Chris, go ahead. Why do you have MJF in this?
Why I have MJF winning here is because every time they do the AEW Dynamite MJF has always won the match. He always wins the Diamond Ring, and that is going to be plain and simple. MJF is going to beat Adam Cole. The only reason I have for that is maybe the Undisputed Kingdom turns on Adam Cole to cost him the match and help MJF win. Or another scenario I have in mind is maybe we see a returning Wardlow, and Wardlow reunites with MJF to help MJF win this match here. So either way, MJF wins the diamond ring tonight.
The Dynamite Diamond Ring. I got you. All right. Well, we got two arguments here. We have an MJF, we have an Adam Cole. Charles in the chat saying that he can see MJF winning because he never loses that ring. Again, he's been the inaugural holder. He's used that ring to even defend the AEW World Championship successfully, might I add, longest reigning AEW World Champion in this company's history. Well, Walter, let's go ahead and get your thoughts here because it is not unanimous here either in the poll, but it is 2-1 in favor of everyone's favorite scumbag, Maxwell Jacob Freeman MJF. But we're not in Long Island, New York. We're in Orlando, Florida, baby. Walter, who do you got leaving with the ring? And ultimately, do you see somebody finally having a finale here?
I see Adam Cole winning. At least he better. Otherwise, what the hell was the point? Like, in my opinion, to be honest, this is a year too late. Like, I understand injuries and stuff happen, but I couldn't care less about this match, to be honest. And that's a shame because MJF is involved. But I don't give a shit about this rivalry anymore. Like, I'm so over it, and I want them to both to be over it. And can we move? MJF is supposed to be the pillar of AEW. Why isn't he in the main event scene? Why isn't he got a tattoo of AEW on his ankle? Why isn't he defending AEW against Jon Moxley? Like, why do you have him doing this bullshit with Adam Cole? It's a year too late. Undisputed Kingdom was dead in the water after the injury, and that you still got this shit going on. So, um, I gotta say Adam Cole wins the ring, and then please can we move on after that? Like, please don't do no twists, no turns, no, like, Chris, love you, bro, but I don't want anybody to turn on anybody because then it'll just keep going and it'll never end. I want this shit to end. I can't, like, please, can we move on? That's all I want. So Adam Cole wins and just finalizes it. Like, please.
Well, it's not undisputed, but Chris, you're the odd one out. I agree with y'all guys. I think Adam Cole should be the one to win it here because at the end of the day, it will free MJF from that ring. Adam Cole might feel like he got what he wanted, but again, did he get what he wanted in the end with revenge? It feels like to me Adam Cole is looking to kick MJF's ass, but even if he wins, I don't think Adam Cole will be satisfied. I think MJF will still get his way. Think about what MJF has done to Adam Cole since he returned. He's caused a split between his former undisputed running mates, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. He put Roderick Strong on the shelf. He's still the talking point. And at the end of the day, MJF is still going to be more over than him in AEW. And I don't think MJF needs this ring anymore. If the Undisputed Kingdom is going to try and resuscitate any sort of life in themselves, then I do think that Adam Cole needs to step away from this and just, live with the sins that he commits. But I think MJF should be a future challenger for the AEW World Championship, and he doesn't need a ring to be part of that. I like the idea of Jeff. Chris is why Wi-Fi is giving him crap. I like the idea of Wardlow though, because again, Wardlow's been out with leg injury indefinitely, and the last time we saw Wardlow MJF, what did he do? He betrayed MJF. He gave the Diamond ring to CM Punk, and of course, we saw the fall from that when Wardlow beat MJF inside a steel cage. But I think because it just would seem too plain and simple. MJF loses in his home turf. You would think Adam Cole would lose on his home turf because it's Florida? Nah. I'm going with Adam Cole with y'all here, and I hope that means that this is the end of these two. Adam Cole gets what he wants. MJF, you can thank him later. But yeah, I'm going with Adam Cole, and that's undisputed. Yes, JJ.
I feel like the Dynamite Diamond reign for MJF was like the initial run of the FTW title with Taz. It was a stepping stone, a caveat to the world championship. MJF has been world champion now. Like you said, longest reigning champion in AEW history. He doesn't need the diamond ring anymore. He's gotten to that plateau.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's held it 5 damn times over. He's successfully defended this ring against the likes of Absolute Breaker Starks. He beat freaking Dustin Rhodes, him and Adam Page. He's brained Adam Cole. He's brained Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Daniel Garcia. That ring's diamonds have seen enough freaking scathing on its apparently non-shatterable gems. For the love of Pete, let's go ahead and actually end something for once in AEW. That makes sense. Adam Cole wins, but is he really the victor? No. And I think he's just going to have to deal with that. And you can fake MJF later. And preferably MJF right now, he's tweener. He's been tweener ever since his return. Because even as a heel, while he tries to get the people that hate him, the people still love him. He is our scumbag. And at this point, people are just waiting for MJF to go back after the AEW World Championship. That's really what this comes down to. Hassan, good to see you, by the way. And thank you for your comments. Ira Sultan, if this is your first time tuning in, hope you enjoy. All right, so there we go. 3 Adam Coles, 1 MJF. And Chris, you can thank us later. Let's go ahead and move on from there into our next match. And I think, again, the fact that every one of these matches is all about championships, ain't that kind of crazy? Let's go ahead and readjust values now to somebody that I know will keep it tranquilo, because I want to see also something change and something end when it comes to the idea of a double champ. Let's get a New Year's resolution and a new face of TBS. Chris, you're on the bubble for this. Let's go ahead and talk about this classic being revisited. Mercedes Moné defends the TBS championship against Chris Statlander. After Chris Statlander gave one of the damnedest matches of her career, testing Mercedes Moné to her absolute limits, even surviving the Moné Maker. It was desperate measures with a bite of the thigh and dropping Chris Statlander across the second rope with a roll-up that allowed Moné to survive and escape still the TBS champion. With a follow-up successful defense, of course, against Anna Jay on Holiday Bash. Very game effort. Now Mercedes Moné has presented this gift on a silver platter for Chris Statlander in what she deemed was one of her best opponents to date in her career that tested her the strongest. Statlander, again, I've always will say it. Stat is where it is at. Former TBS champion. She beat that bitch. One of you called her the streak breaker, and I like that idea. So, Chris, at World's End, do we see an end of Mercedes Moné as the face of TBS, and we welcome the power of Stat to Max? Do you have a new TBS champion?
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a good, solid match between Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander. I enjoyed their last match at Full Gear. I thought we are going to see a new champion, but we didn't. This is going to be a match where anything can happen, but I got to go for the CEO here tonight. I got Mercedes Moné retaining the TBS championship tonight, because of, if you're going in to Max with AEW, you want to have the superstar that is credible and the most popular women's superstar out there to usher in the new era of AEW. And with Max being streaming service, you want a Mercedes Moné to be the forefront of the TBS women's division. So Mercedes Moné retains the TBS champion, maybe by the help of
the Renegade Twins. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We got one for the CEO, apparently keeping our portfolio. By the way, Chris, don't ever do that dance again. That's going to mentally scar me. Okay, so we got one open ballot here for the CEO retaining both pieces of gold. And before I open the floor, allow me to counterpoint. There goes his Wi-Fi again. I think the Wi-Fi didn't like his dance either. I do think Chris Statler's turn was sudden. I think they could have done more with Stokely halfway. I think there could have been a promo off with Stokely and Monet, but they didn't go that route. But here's the thing. Mercedes Monet has a date with Mina Shirakawa. Yay, Mina. For the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's Heavyweight Championship and the NW Strong Women's Championship, both on the line January 5th at Wrestle Dynasty. It's one of those things where I think Mercedes Moné has had a great run with TBS style since we will not go Double or Nothing, but this is Double or Nothing for somebody that never lost the title in the first place and never got her rematch. And I think we truly need to usher in change. Monet does not need to hold everything. And I don't give a damn what business logic Chris or any of you want to try and throw at me. Stats where it's at, damn it. And I'm going with Chris Statlander beating that bitch, dropping her dividends down, and once becoming the face of TBS. I got Chris Statlander beating Monet before the year's end at World's End and becoming the new two-time TBS champion. Chris Statlander for the win. And again, Chris Statlander has grown stronger and smarter since then. She's not going to be like an open challenge champion. We've seen her growth. I think Statlander has become a standard now to test herself against in AEW for the women's division after the match she had with Mercedes Moné. So I got to go with Chris Statlander here to be the new face of TBS. Stat for the win. Walter, I saw your hand. You can go next. Then we'll go to JJ. Hi, brother. And then I'll talk about the poll here very shortly here, too. Walter, what do you got to say? The floor is yours. And folks, by the way, before these two engage, allow me to give you a little bit of forewarning. I'm not monetized, and I welcome people being real and legit on this platform. So, Walter, who do you got?
I agree with you about Chris should win, but if you think about it from Tony's point of view, aesthetically speaking, if you're going to do this Mercedes versus Mina winner takes all, it just looks better for her to have the TBS title still there, for your company representative there in Japan having it all, because then it looks like she has everything to lose because you're literally calling it winner takes all. So that's the only reason I'm going with Mercedes Moné. I hope I'm wrong because I want Chris Statlander to win it because, God damn it, I'm sick of Mercedes. Plus, if you're the best wrestler of the world and you're doing all that, why are you stuck with the TBS title? Why aren't you going after Mariah May and getting the main women's title? You're pretty much the women's intercontinental champion right now, pretty much. Like to put in perspective, why aren't you going after the main title? If you're the best person in the world, you're the CEO, you're the shit, you're making more money than anyone has ever been. You're rich, you're that. Why the hell don't you have the main title? Why are you stuck with the TBS title? Like you shouldn't you be wanting to step up by now? But that's neither here nor there. That's just I just she gets on my nerves, as you can tell.
It's
But
tough.
yeah, but yeah, I have to go with her. Although wrestling, speaking wise, she's been impressing me. Her last few matches have really been, and the fact that she keeps winning clean is I'm loving that they're booking that. So I can put personal feelings aside, but I think she's gonna win, and I hope I'm wrong. I want Chris Statlander to win so so it can be over, and then I want Mercedes to lose to Mina too. Lose it all. Like it's a winner take all match. Lose both titles. How about that? That would be
And
a
literally with
Christmas gift
in the
from me
case.
by the internet world. I mean by the wrestling world.
But I mean, it is the internet that we're talking
Yeah.
about here in a way. All right. Well, JJ, I love you, brother. Let's go ahead and get your thoughts. Before we do that, you all want to know how partisan people are in this? It's practically 50-50. 52% favor a new champion. JJ, what you got to say regarding this match and what could be the one match that surprises people? It could be an upset. It could be a title change. What do you got?
Well, let me see here.
Uh-oh.
Walter, you keep saying winner take all. But to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, Noah, it's just the Rev Pro and the New Japan Strong titles on the line. The TBS title ain't got shit to do with it.
That is correct.
So if the TBS title ain't on the line, why does she need to walk into the Tokyo Dome with it? So that's comment number one. Comment number two. Mercedes you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to say it like this. Noah, I am picking Stat. If she loses, you can never say Stat is where it's at again.
Never! You will never make me disbelieve in Chris Statlander.
Because,
How
because
dare you?
I am going against my better judgment because I want to see that twat waffle lose her championship.
There it is.
Stat deserves this. But if she cannot get it done, I never want to hear you say Stat is where it's at again. You and your adoration for Stat.
Damn, Walter.
I'm trying to be good.
I am the influencer.
No, Charles. I can hold back because nobody is paying for my outrage right now. I'm going with Stat. I believe on this occasion that Stat is where it's at. It'll be a glorious Saturday night. But if she doesn't do it, I can't force you to never say that again, but I will never pick her again.
Walter, you got that timestamp? Okay. Well done. And look, you brought Chris back. His Wi-Fi holding up again. Bro, what the hell's going on with your
Yay.
Wi-Fi? Hey. All right, let's get everybody back in place. And there you have it. All right. So that being said, we got 3 for Statlander. And once again, Chris, you are the odd one out in the worst dance I've ever seen. Worse than anything I've seen in Fortnite and on TikTok. What the hell? Okay,
The only thing that
so
was probably worse was you doing the spinneroonie on carpet.
go to hard carpet, you idiot! caused that to happen. I don't have cardboard on my freaking floor, nor do I have any breakdancing experience, nor do I ever want to break dance. I think people that break dance are using their bodies in the most stupid of ways of interpretation. Never mind. I'm not trying to rant on what shouldn't be an Olympic sport in this screwed up world of idiocracy. You're trying to trigger me, and it's really working nearly. Anyway, we all want stat, except for this man, because we believe stats where it's at. And I think a majority of the chat would agree. All right, good stuff. Now I'm glad everybody was able to maintain their composure there. And Lily will comment real quick. Walter, just go with stat. I know what you're thinking, but logic and wrestling don't mix. You want Statlander, just go with your heart. Sometimes in predictions and in life, you gotta think with your heart versus your mind, and you'll be pleasantly surprised, especially when you support somebody, no matter what. What do you gotta
Going
say,
back to
JJ?
the MJF match, Lee chimed in about you don't headbutt a Samoan. I want to add one more of those to the you don't list. You don't talk about the women of NXT when your wife is in the other room listening.
Especially when you're this man. That right there is accurate. Okay. Well, that was a great conversation. I enjoyed that. Oh, that was fun. Some powerful comments and analysis by my friends here in the Super Reliable Studios. Speaking of power, why don't we go into a meat bout with power, shall we? JJ, I'm going to let you decompress and lightly talk about this. Let's talk about.
Look
Boop,
at the
boop,
chat
boop,
room.
boop. Yeah, what did he say?
Yep.
Yep. I was going to say accurate, but yeah, that works too. Walter, you've been warned. All right, JJ, let's go to you on this match. We got the AEW International Championship on the line as the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, defends against former Don Callis family member, Powerhouse Hobbs. This match was brought after tag team action. Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis got the better of the Don Callis family, and Don Callis was embarrassed and pissed off. So he wants the Alpha. We're going to give it to you. Konosuke Takeshita has been a phenomenal AEW national champion, though, defending this title already in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling against the likes of Speedball Mike Bailey, TJP, and the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Now he comes in this match taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. Also, he beat Ricochet in Full Gear. That caused Ricochet's attitude change. But I also want to add this. Walter, the Alpha will be in action at Wrestle Kingdom defending this title if he holds on to it against Shingo Takagi in another title for title match for the never overweight champion. And the winner of that match has the Stone Pit Bull Tomoshi E waiting for them on January 5th at Wrestle Dynasty. So, JJ, who you got winning this meat fest?
Okay. I like Takeshita. I really do. But it's time for him to let it go. The Callis family is slowly crumbling underneath them. I feel like the ultimate feather in the cap would be Hobbs, the former member of the Callis family, dethroning Takeshita for the championship and giving him a mega push.
So you have a new champion.
I do. New champion, the dude from Pentatonics.
Damn it. How to bring
Stop
that
me when
comment
I'm
into play.
telling lies.
Yeah, well, he might as well sing after he wins.
No, we don't need that. Although I'm sure he's musically gifted, but who freaking knows? What's this?
Tell me I'm
damn
wrong.
Damn it!
You know what's funny?
Damn
My
it!
aunt actually knows him because that guy went to Yale.
Tell me I'm wrong, Noah.
All right. You got a valid argument there. Damn you. Okay. Well, that being said, we got one new champion. So we got a new champion. That's the bout. Does anyone believe the Alpha is going to defend successfully before we move on? Going once. Okay. Chris has a counter argument to that. Chris,
There
for
we
yours.
go.
Why you got the Alpha retaining? A little bit of polarizing conversation.
Well,
Yeah,
I
my
got
bad.
Konosuke to test the tonight is because he just won the championship back in Wrestle Dream, and it's too early for him to drop the championship. Get a solid run out of this, and it's not time for him to lose just yet. So Konosuke Testa retains tonight.
I love the fact that he gets to actually talk these Japanese names and try to announce them. Again, Walter, you better do your homework. All right, well, we got 1-1, and I will say right now, 85% believe the Alpha is going to retain. 14% believe in a new champion. And right now, Chris, for once, I agree with you. I think about right now the fact that the Alpha has been working his whole life for this type of moment, for this type of momentum. We talk about the explosive nature of him in the ring, the complete athlete, compared to the likes of Kenny by God Omega. There's a reason why Don Callis calls him the Alpha. I think it was because of setting himself up for a big 2025. And the fact that he represents AEW and DDT Pro in the Tokyo Dome, possibly both days, that adds to his credibility. And Jun Akiyama gotta be proud. And I am gonna hold out for this man, JJ. Mark my words, he will be somebody that will win with a blue thunder bomb. Brought to him by Jun Akiyama. It will happen. It's a New Year's resolution. Get my fucking words. It will happen. But either way, I got Konosuke Takeshita winning this meat fest tonight. Walter, who do you got in this match?
First of all, a jobber, a non-hometown name doesn't even lose to Blue Thunder Bomb. So you,
Thank you.
Shut up. Yeah, I watched DDT Pro and Jun Akiyama. Anyway, continue, Walter. Damn it.
But yeah, because he's booked to be in Tokyo Dome, and you got another match. I feel like Takesha has to win because if he loses, yeah, like Lee said, what happens to the match?
Then he
Does
only
it now
fights
become
never.
Powerhouse Hobbs to represent?
No, I'm pretty sure pen to paper, it's still Shooter Kage and Nozuki Takeshita. It just wouldn't be title for title. It would just be for the Neverweight Championship. But continue.
Yeah, but I rather it just again aesthetically, it's better to go title for title. So I'll
But how
go
many
with
matches do
Takesha.
we need to go title for title on, though?
That's
Yeah,
true
I'm about
too.
to say we got one at Wrestle Dynasty. Now we got one at Wrestle Kingdom. I think that's enough.
That's true. But yeah, I'll
And
go with
yeah.
Takesha. Mm.
All right, so he's in the majority. So JJ is the one that's the odd one out here. But again, I love JJ's unique thinking. It's one of the reasons why Super Predicting is always so much fun. And I'll say it once, say it again. It's so much more fun to moderate than just participate. Even if you guys sometimes drive me mad sometimes with your predictions and the fact you still hate the Blue Thunder Bomb never winning a match. I swear on everything, Konosuke will be the one to do it. Mark my words. And
It
when it
just got a point
happens,
though.
you can
If
never disagree with me again.
if Powerhouse doesn't win, what the hell do you do with him? Because I'm getting tired with the push and stop and push things with him too. You push and stop, push and stop, push. You got to do something with him. At least give him a title, do something.
Well, I
Otherwise, at
mean,
this point,
yeah.
release him and see what another company can do with him. Because I
Well,
wouldn't
it's
mind
also
seeing him in TNA.
Well, I mean, yeah, TNA definitely could use more talent. I wouldn't mind seeing Powerhouse Hobbs versus Moose. But that being said, it's one of those things right now where you got to consider he also is coming back from an injury and he's trying to sell a vendetta against the Don Callis fan. Remember, the last time we saw Powerhouse Hobbs, he was fighting John Moxley for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in Daily's place, and he got injured. And he was out ever since. So it's one of those things right now with this MO against Don Callis family. Maybe we're trying to squash that, and maybe we're trying to reset things. He is a former TNT champion, so we'll see. But also, guys, not everyone needs a fucking title. Seriously, not every storyline or every wrestler needs a damn title. Yes, JJ, I saw your hand. What's up?
You say Hobbs versus Moose. Give me Hobbs versus Femi.
Okay, that you know what? That's fair. And Powerhouse Hobbs versus Jake. Yes, I like that idea. We get a Deadlock Pro Wrestling. Jake something needs to show up in AEW. That would be something. Again, Alex Hammerstone get well soon. And Sky Blue. All right. Good stuff. This is fun. Okay, let's go ahead now and move forward here. And I believe, Walter, it is your turn. Let's go ahead and talk about the other women's bout of the night. Where are we only living through one's reality while everyone else is simply a dream? And she will make sure they are all broken. My favorite women's champion right now in the business. Let's go ahead and talk about the glamour. Mariah May defending the AEW Women's World Championship against La Mama Thunder Rosa in a Tijuana street fight. Former AEW Women's World Champion that, of course, vacated due to injury. This is going to be fun. I like violence, beautiful violence. So let's go ahead and bring people up to speed on this real quick, Walter. As we know, Thunder Rosa has made it quite well known she does not appreciate Mariah May as the AEW Women's World Champion and has been hell bent on getting back after this title. Previously challenged Thomas Tony Storm back at Dynasty earlier this year and failed. Of course, Thomas Tony Storm is no longer here. Here's Rockstar Tony Storm, and Thunder Rosa just had a sign that said WTF. How fitting. Ever since the Glam Mariah May made AEW all about Mariah, saying that she killed women's wrestling, and there is only one reality why all you all continue to dream. She's made it even more personal for the Rosa, bringing in her family, talking about how Papa Rosa will be at ringside. And hey, if Thunder Rosa's a disappointment as a daughter, then maybe Papa Rosa needs a new mother for her. Damn. So here we are in a Tijuana street fight where Thunder Rosa looks to take Mariah May's head off and nearly took her hand off earlier on the steel ring steps. If there's one thing you can say about Mariah May, she brings out the best and worst out of anybody she's in the ring with when it comes to preserving the AEW Women's World Championship. And I'm all about it. So, Walter, your thoughts on this match? Tijuana Street Fight, is Thunder Rosa set 6 feet under, or do we somehow forget that Mariah May is the AEW Women's World Champion?
Well, Dia de los Muertos is already come and gone, so this isn't Thunder Rosa's moment. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. And what's funny is beautiful violence is going to benefit her. Like the Tijuana match is kind of like her thing, but I believe Mariah May. We got to get to Tony Storm's arc. We got to get the Mariah May Tony Storm. So Mariah May has to hang on to the title, in my opinion, just my opinion, in order to make it mean something when Tony Storm faces her again. So unfortunately, as much as I love Thunder Rosa, I just don't think it's her night. So sorry, you're gonna stay in Tijuana drinking your sorrows, drink the tequila, because you ain't winning.
Literally, just lay it all out right out there. Deck come. All right. Well, I mean, hey, that seemed pretty definitive to me. So we got one for the Glam Mariah May, continue to make AEW all about Mariah, already putting Mercedes Monet on blast, and I love that. Does anyone have a disagreement, or are we all unanimous here? I don't think there's going to be any conflict. Going once, going twice. Sorry, Thunder. It is what it is when it comes to the Glamour Mariah May. We're all about Mariah because right now AEW needs to be all about her, especially after that fallout with Fonda J and Mina Shirakawa. But yes, JJ, I see you have a comment, and I will give credit's due. It's not unanimous. There are 3 people out of 34 that pick Thunder Rosa, as Thunder Rosa is about family and culture. Maybe those people are about for the culture. I don't know. What do you guys say regarding this match, JJ?
We pick who's going to leave with the title, right?
Yes, in a T-Ball street fight, there's no disqualification. But it is a gimmick, so it could
No
protect the champion in
disqualifications,
defeat.
but the match can be thrown out, right? Technically speaking.
Theoretically, yeah, it could be no contest if these two try to batshit break each other up.
Because I'm thinking, what if? Get a little fantasy booking here for a moment, but what if during the pre-show match with Layla Gray, Tony gets conked? And then she comes out during this match and starts attacking Mariah May, and the two of them fight to the back. Thunder Rosa gets left in the ring. The match gets thrown out. Technically, Thunder Rosa would be declared the victor.
Right.
I don't know, just thinking, because the fact that we go off of who leaves with the title, I still think Mariah's leaving with the title, but I feel it's a way that Thunder Rosa could win without making her, lose technically, if that makes sense to you, because she doesn't get pinned or submitted, but she doesn't leave with the title.
Well, I guess that would come down if the initial bell even rings, because if the initial bell doesn't ring, then there's no match in the first place. It's a no contest. So I think you're onto something, because we all are trying to pinpoint, like we're guiding the storyline. We're trying to guide the storyline. Hell, we couldn't guide the storyline with Timeless Tony Storm Mariah May, how it happened, but we could guide its ending. Do we really know what the ending is for Mariah May? Is it truly just Mariah May dropping the title back to Tony Storm in another timeless era, or is there something different, bigger? There's still people that Mariah May hasn't faced yet that she's already beefed with, and that includes Sky Blue, who's out injured. But you're putting Thunder Rosa in this where I don't think Thunder Rosa would accept being left behind, where it might build a unique triple threat dynamic, and that might be a bridge point into the climax of this story, where you've been waiting to see if there is another Eve to Mariah May, and it seems like this version of Tony Storm very well might be that. When RJ City asked her what she found Mariah May, the greatest of all time. Tony Storm, rockstar Tony Storm, has become Mariah May's biggest fan. So there is that unique analogy there. But I just don't know if Grand Slam is that obvious to be the conclusion of this or a turning point to this. I do see Mariah May and Tony Storm happening in some aspect down under because that just makes sense in the wrestling context to me, considering Tony Storm was literally born out of Australia and founded down under before she went into like Red Pro and all those other companies I talked about in Stardom.
And
But
let's
I
not
just
forget, All In is going to be Texas, which is Thunder Rosa's hometown, so we can end up circling back there.
Yeah, and that could be her moment, honestly. She could be the one that could dethrone her. But I also think about Mariah May's shirt, La May She Reigns. She's got a date with the Virtuosa sooner rather than later, in my opinion. So there's just a lot more of a dynamic right now in Mariah May's run as champion than just seeing it all go straight ahead to Grand Slam and being done just like that. But either way, I like that wrinkle you got there, considering Grand Slam right now is the only special in AEW currently booked. We know Revolutions after that. There's nothing in January. After the Mother of All Simulcast January 1st, it's just TV. And we'll see how
No,
TV holds up.
Maximum Carnage and Collision Homecoming.
Well, yeah, there's that. But you know how I look at those themed TV shows, but sometimes they make them pay-per-views. But I like how you did add a wrinkle to Thunder Rosa being part longer of this storyline with Mariah May and maybe even being her undoing. But either way, I'm still all about Mariah right now, far more than Liv Morgan would. Either way, Mariah May is retaining the AEW Women's World Championship. All right. That was a unique thought process there, JJ. And we got some comments here from Lily. Maybe not about how that Tony Storm's revenge can retain as long as Tony gets her hands on her. Well, again, does Tony Storm want the title? Or does timeless Tony Storm want to take Mariah May's head off? Which Tony Storm wants Mariah May more, and for what reason? We got fangirl Tony Storm right now for Mariah May, not timeless. So again, look at the character dynamic here. That's why I love this so much. And again, the AEW show with Tony's home country, for those that don't know, Australia is both a country and a continent. That is in February, AEW Grand Slam as they go down under. So there you go. But either way, we're all about Mariah, and we're all picking her. All right. Well, good, unique conversation and thoughts on that. Let's go ahead back into the Continental Classic because all we have left beyond that will be our main event. So let's go into the other semifinal, bruv. And here comes the Dave Meltzer metaphor, you sick freaks. Chris, you're going to kick this one off. Let's go ahead and talk about this rematch coming back from Full Gear as we have the Protostar Kyle Fletcher going one-on-one against the all-elite bruv Will Ospreay. After Kyle Fletcher physically dissected and dominated Will Ospreay at Full Gear, Will Ospreay is hell-bent on winning this tournament. Says it's a must-win for him. While Kyle Fletcher had one of the strongest runs, only blemished by Mark Briscoe, and said that this tournament is his. In what looks like a young dynamic of little brother, big brother. I look at Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay's history in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Will Ospreay became the come-up kingpin. We have the Protostar looking to die a king, looking to show that he is not Will Ospreay, while Will Ospreay continues to believe that he is on another level. Now, I want you guys to remember, the winner of this match will face the winner of this match in the finals to crown the Continental Classic champion. So not only are you all predicting this, you are predicting the overall winner of the Continental Classic. And Chris, you start off. Who do you have winning the semifinal, and who is your overall winner of this year's Continental Classic? Considering the winner of this match, based on your predictions, you picked Okada to be facing them. So good luck.
Well, this match between Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay is going to be a banger of a match. I enjoyed it their other match at Full Gear. I'm going to enjoy it here tonight. In this, I got Will Ospreay defeating Kyle Fletcher to like get his win back from Full Gear. And then I have Okada versus Ospreay. I'm going to go out with the limb, and I'm going to say Kazuchika Okada is going to win and retain the Continental Championship here tonight. And here's why. I think AEW is setting up something bigger after this whole set and done. I feel after the match, I think we are going to get a returning Kenny Omega, and we are going to get Kenny Omega challenging Kazuchika Okada for the Continental Championship somewhere maybe down in January, or I could see this match taking place at Grand Slam Australia. So I have Kazuchika Okada winning the whole thing, and afterwards, Kenny Omega returns.
All right. So we have the All Elite Bruv going up against his longtime friend and foe and superior Kazuchika Okada, with Okada winning the whole thing. That is Chris's Continental Classic. Well, JJ, you already offered a different dynamic when you had Ricochet win earlier. So that would mean that Ricochet would either face off once again against Will Ospreay, or you have a battle of two of the most egotistical men in this entire tournament looking to literally win their major first in All Elite Wrestling, the Continental Classic. So who do you have facing Ricochet in the finals, and who's your overall winner this year you propose for the Continental Classic? I don't think he needs to say another word. I think I can read mindsets here. I got bruv and bruv right now channeling on my head. Crown's up. He's got Will Ospreay. All right, then.
Ospreay versus Ricochet 2, and Ospreay takes the whole tournament. I said it
Ospreay.
when we did the ATW View Impromptu. Ospreay has been Tony's golden boy ever since he inked his deal earlier this year. What better way to end the year out than Ospreay taking this tournament? I do like
Fair.
Chris's idea about the Omega return, but if rumors are to be believed, Omega's not coming back to AEW television until after Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty.
That's correct. He has a date at Wrestle Dynasty with the madman, the war dog, Gabe Kidd. And proverbially, Gabe Kidd, he might go in with a defeat before facing Tomoshi E at Battle in the Valley, defending his NW Strong Openweight Championship. But yes, the cleaner returns home to New Japan in the Tokyo Dome first, January 5th. I cannot wait for that. Please play Devil's Cry. All right. Well, two unique dynamics. We got Will Ospreay winning the whole thing. We got Kazuchika Okada winning the whole thing, but we got Will Ospreay here winning this match right now, regardless. Walter, what about you? You got Kazuchika Okada winning the other match here. Who you got winning this, and who's your overall winner for the Continental Classic? Again, you talked about before how much you love this, but can you actually figure out who's going to win this?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Ospreay Okada in the final. So I think Ospreay wins this match, and like JJ just said, Ospreay's kind of Tony Khan's golden boy. I do like Chris's idea if Okada wins that Kenny Omega returns, but I think this is like I've been calling Ospreay the whole time, so I can't go against myself. So I think he's gonna end up winning the whole thing. I see Ospreay winning the entire thing. But it is difficult. This is what I love about the Continental Classic. They gave us some banger matches. Like this has been booked very, very well, to the point where half the matches I didn't want either person to lose when they had it. So
Yeah. Well, Charles here with his own New Year premonition saying 2025 will be the year that Will Ospreay wins the AEW World Championship. Bro, since he's TK Golden Boy, to Jada's point. It's a thought, but it's one of those things right now. We got to finish 2024. Again, I followed Will Ospreay's entire New Japan Pro Wrestling career. When he became the Commonwealth Kingpin, that was the closest shot he had in beating Kazuchika Okada in the finale of G1 Climax, and he failed. The only time that Will Ospreay ever got the better of Kazuchika Okada was during a G1 Climax by dubious means, and recently when he came back with a kinder heart. And then he also faced Kazuchika Okada at Battle in the Valley, if y'all remember that, from last year, and he also lost that. Kazuchika Okada has always been the mountain that Will Ospreay felt he needed to climb and overcome to stand above him, even though he learned to stand out on his own. It's one of those sagas where I do wonder, though, with this new attitude of both Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada, how can you not have that be the finale of the Continental Classic, be the biggest match that AEW could put on their pay-per-view to end their calendar year? I gotta go with Will Ospreay here. And again, he's been hell bent on getting a win back. And let's keep in mind, he's lost 2 pay-per-views now back to back. So this is one of those things that I can't see him losing, at least this match. But with the way Kazuchika Okada has been carrying this attitude, and he always seems to be the better of Will Ospreay, I fuck me. I can't bet against the Rainmaker right now, where this has been the best the Rainmaker's looked since arriving in All Elite Wrestling. I gotta go with Kazuchika Okada winning the whole thing, especially when he's trying to surpass Masahiro Chono, Mr. August himself, for the winner of the most consecutive types of round robin tournaments. That's Okada's MO. While Will Ospreay, he just says it's a must win for him. I think Kyle Fletcher is more of a must win than the tournament itself. I think he can move on from Kyle Fletcher if he beats him. But as far as this goes, he'll always be trying to climb that mountain that he can't seem to reach, and that is Kazuchika Okada. I got Will Ospreay win this match and Okada win the entire Continental Classic. And I cannot wait to call this shit. Yes, JJ, I see your hand up. Your mic's muted, butter. Your mic's muted.
Were all of Chono's victories in the G1?
Masahiro Chono is well, not all the victories. I mean, again, he was in multiple G1s. He didn't win like every G1. He just won the most G1 tournaments. Kazuchika Okada's won 4 G1 climaxes. Chono won 5.
Okay, so all 5 of Chono's were in the G1, though. So my question being is, if Okada gets this one, would he feel like he accomplished what he wanted to do, or would he still feel less than since it wasn't a G1 round robin victory?
Character-wise, I think he would sell that he feels good, but if you know Okada like I do, he respects New Japan Pro Wrestling legacy. Hell, he had a robe literally crest with New Japan Pro Wrestling history. I think deep down Okada will always see himself in Chono's shadow unless he wins another G1 climax. So as far as here goes, that's the dynamic. And again, I'm going off his current character, where at the end of the day, only one thing matters to Okada.
Beach.
Kazuchika Okada for the win for the entire thing. All right, let's go ahead and see what people had to say regarding this match and who their overall winner is. It's almost unanimous with Will Ospreay, 92%, while 8% went with the protostar Kyle Fletcher. And of course, the overall winner of the G1 Climax, the majority goes with Will Ospreay, actually, 60%. While secondary, of course, Kazuchika Okada, and there's 3 for Kyle Fletcher, and 2 people pick Ricochet. I think that we're also getting Ricochet versus First Strickland out of this when Trevor fails to win the big one and fails to live up to the pressure. And Walter, I like the fact that you bring up Kenny Omega because let's not forget the last time we saw Kenny Omega in an AEW ring as he was fighting diverticulitis. Who confronted him? The Rainmaker. If that's not subtle teasing or long-term storytelling, where Okada talked about the rivalry, Omega talked about the rivalry and says, why don't we settle things in an AEW ring? I think you're setting up a major angle for the Rainmaker and the Cleaner to revisit one of the greatest rivalries in modern wrestling history. But again, gotta get through 2024 first, and I think Okada wins out the whole thing. I also wonder when Eddie Kingston comes back, because he lost title back in March, if Eddie Kingston wants another crack at the Rainmaker and wants to get back his Continental Championship. Just saying, there's a lot of moving bits here. But either way, Rainmaker for the win. Yes, JJ.
Thank you for bringing that up because I was wondering why the Continental Championship is not on the line in the Continental Classic tournament. That's how we decided the first champion last year at this event. Why has the Continental Championship not been on the line as Okada has moved through?
It
Or
actually,
at the very least in the semifinals, and if he makes it to the finals. Like, the belt needs to be on the line. That was the whole reason it was established.
well, the belt is on the line. It's what the winner gets. But I think I know what you mean because you would think if Okada lost a match, then that person would be considered the champion. But when you come into the tournament as the guy that won it, you are holding that position, not necessarily a strap. The strap is just basically an accommodation. Because last year, remember, it was a combination of that title and the other two championships Eddie Kingston had, the strong openweight championship for New Japan and the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's called the Continental Crown. This
Right.
year, you're strictly Continental champion. No matter what, whether you had the belt going in or not, you're having the belt means you're a prime target. You're trying to be the guy going in here as champion and leave as champion. Whoever wins this will take that belt with them and the title Continental champion. But I do get what you're saying.
Okay, because I never heard them make that very clear, because it wasn't in the tournament that Okada got the belt. He defeated Kingston in a regular match.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been no mention. Again, this is AEW and they're great promotions. I've heard them say nothing about the belt leaving Okada if somebody else wins the tournament.
I think they basically just called that because that's the reason why that belt, Okada has not even worn that belt. They're basically saying whoever wins this tournament leads with that belt. Okada just came in as the defending champion. So I think it was one of those things where it wasn't said, but they probably felt in a way it was known because that's the prize everyone's going for. But again, it's one of those things where communication is key versus a casual wondering what this is about. So I do get what you're saying again. It's kind of like what New Japan Pro Wrestling did with what they called the KOPW Championship. You won this title initially in January. You were the provisional KOPW champion. You held on to that title, but you constantly had to defend it, such as Okada did. And if you were to lose it, you would no longer be the champion at that moment, but you could earn it back. And basically, by the end of the year, if you still held that title, you were the KOPW champion. In a similar way, here with the Continental Classic, if Okada, who's held his title since March, survives this tournament with his titles on the line, he would be officially the Continental champion once more. But if he loses, then that's it. His run's done, and we have a new Continental champion. By the way, KOPW is officially retired. Thank Christ. New Japan needs to get rid of some titles before AEW does, because New Japan has way too many championships. But yeah, either way, this is going to be one hell of a finale in what has been my favorite wrestling tournament this year. And we'll see what happens. All right. Well, we had a lot of fun, a lot of talking, discussions, and fantasy booking. We tried to basically clarify what the Continental Crown versus Continental Championship is, but let's go ahead and look at World's End before the new year begins. Let's go ahead and get right into this clusterfuck. Let's go ahead and talk about our main event. Death Rider, John Moxley, the holder of the position and the holder in possession of the AEW World Championship, puts it all on the line against Ego, three massive egos in fatal four-way action. Heyman Adam Page, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, and arguably the most dangerous person here in this match, in my opinion, Switchblade Jay White. And the fact that these three men have been butting heads with each other ever since this was made, with Orange Cassidy having that lifelong vendetta to make sure John Moxley loses the title, while Jay White says that nothing's going to stand his way to become champion, and Heyman's been hell bent on getting the AEW World Championship. We did finally see all three men come to a consensus this past Wednesday on Dynamite concerning what's most important. Not personal grudges, but the championship. Because at the end of the day, John Moxley says nobody wants this more than he does. And that's why he feels he will never lose this. He can't lose this. And he looks to purge AEW of all this nonsense. Good luck with that. We've seen the friggin' Ford truck commercial. We've seen the flare in the desert. Is it signaling for something new to begin? Someone new to arrive? Something else to end? JJ, it's all on you here, man. How do we end World's End regarding the AEW World Championship? Do we actually see the damn title, for Pete's sake? Is it actually in that briefcase? Maria Shafir has the key around her neck. Has it been destroyed? Does somebody show up? Who falls here in a fatal four-way, by the way, where I imagine whose pin is done, period, pursuing this title? What the hell happened at World's End when it comes to John Moxley and his AEW? What's the future of the championship? The floor is yours.
Well, as credible and as good as all the challengers are, Moxley is walking out of here with the title still. I don't think it's as much of the match as it is the aftermath. Yesterday, as Rampage went off the air for the final time, we saw quite a bit of Death Rider aftermath. I think we're going to get something major. This is the end of the world. Come January 1st, which is just a few days away now, we jump into the Max partnership, simulcasts. You want to talk about needing people to be faces, people to be credible. Why is Chris Jericho still the Ring of Honor champion? Because they're shopping for a TV deal. I like Orange Cassidy. I like Switchblade Jay White. I can deal with Hangman Adam Page. But Moxley is the name here. So as we begin 2025 with Max and everything, you need Mox on Max. There's your marketing right there. Mox is Max. Mox to the max. Which, side note, how long before we get an AEW Max Championship to go with the TNT and TBS ones?
Don't put that out there, JJ. Stop it.
2 months.
Damn it, Walter. I hope people forget that.
I don't know about that quickly, but I'd say by Forbidden Door or All In.
Y'all are wrong. Putting more titles on the line.
And guarantee it'll be a tournament to determine the winner of that.
Damn right.
But why don't I just start a city predicting championship? Every time someone's on this panel, they actually do the best amongst this family. They have to come on here and defend the title. They're freaking vacant at this point. Why not everything be about a damn championship? Dadgummit.
And then we'll get the TBS Championship defended on Max, the Max Championship defended on TNT, and the TNT Championship defended on TBS. None of the channels will actually get the belt that represents them defended on it. But that's a whole other story.
Oh my gosh.
But it's been long speculated about Shane O'Mac. Everybody comes back to Shane O'Mac, just like they come back to freaking Naomi joining the bloodline, or Moose versus Obafemi.
Still holding out for that.
Or Joe Hendry winning the championship at Genesis.
By the way, congratulations to Joe Hendry, who was also voted, of course, the TNA male superstar of the. You said his fucking name, didn't you?
You said it like 3 times after me.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Continue.
I think whatever happens, it's going to be after the match. And while a lot of us thought that maybe Shane O'Mac was behind the Death Riders, maybe Shane O'Mac is going to lead the opposition to come and battle the Death Riders, along with the excommunicated Combat Club member, the American Dragon.
Thinking.
2
Well,
hours later.
Brian said he will be at All In Texas. He did not say wrestling, but it's nice to know his neck's not broken, it seems. Unlike Darby Allin, who was thrown down a freaking thing of stairs. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they did the same thing to Mick Foley. He came back like 2 weeks later.
Darby Allin is not Mick Foley. I think Darby Allin's worse than Mick Foley at this point. He's his own worst enemy. Only if it hasn't happened to him, he hasn't been thrown from the top of a steel cage down through it and freaking had a tooth stuck in his nose.
I'm waiting to see the AI of Darby Allin doing a coffin drop off the top of Mount Everest.
Oh, dear God almighty. I don't think
Climb
that
to
works
the
as
top, plant the flag, and then coffin drop to descend from the mountain.
Mountain, Charles, mountains are not perfect that way. He would be sliding down all the way, well, to a point. All right, this is going way off course. The bottom line, though, we're expecting something to give at World's End, but not the AEW World Championship in your case today. You got John Moxley retaining.
Mox
All
to the
right.
max.
It's Mox to the max. I swear, if that becomes a freaking thing, they turn Max from blue and white to freaking black and red with blood and change the letters, freaking covered in barbed wire. I blame you. But actually, I like that idea a lot too. All right, so there it is. We got one for John Moxley retaining. Chris, I saw your face. You can go next. Go ahead and give your pick on this match, and then you can bet by a fine I do for the year, my friend. It's been fun having you back here. What's your thoughts regarding this? Again, John Moxley, he's beaten Orange Cassidy. He's beaten Heyman and Page. I don't think he's beaten Switchblade Jay White, to my knowledge.
Well, my thoughts on this main event, it is going to be an absolute wild of a main event. I do have John Moxley retaining the AEW World Championship tonight. And also what you guys said, where we have triple threats, Fatal Four-Way, there's a buffer, and there's a fall person. I just think the fall person is going to be Orange Cassidy. I see Orange Cassidy being the fall person, and what is going to come after that is going to leave everybody maybe sad or maybe happy. I think we are going to have a happy ending when this is all said and done tonight. We know after the match, John Moxley and the Death Riders are going to attack people. We may have trash bags tonight over people's faces.
Lord.
But there's going to be a conquering hero that is going to return to save everybody from getting attacked by the Death Riders. And tonight, we're going to see the return of the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. At the end of the night, we're going to see Adam Copeland return, and it's going to set up maybe at Grand Slam Australia, John Moxley versus Adam Copeland for the AEW World Championship. And that is how you end AEW World's End. I do have to get off. Where you guys can find me at is on my Facebook, Christopher Rotz, my Insta, CMROTZ_1316. My X account is CROTS24. Hope you guys all enjoy AEW World's End tonight. Happy New Year. Hope you guys have a safe and blessed 2025 year.
Thank you, Chris. We'll see you then. Take care. God bless you and your family, and have a happy New Year. And good luck tonight predictions. Make sure you finalize them by 6 p.m. Because we're out there, everybody. The king of social media, bro. I think he's too much into it, but that's just my opinion. Good lad. All right, and then there were three.
I love how he just bypasses Fight for the Fallen, Wrestle Dynasty, Maximum Carnage, Collision Homecoming, like there's no other major shows that could be done a match of that caliber until Grand Slam Australia, which is it a pay-per-view or a special? I'm not sure.
I would think with the fact they advertised it so soon, and I don't think it's going to be on Wednesday night because it's Australia, and that would be crazy. It sounds like they're going to try and put it as a pay-per-view, but the jury is still out. That being said, all right, so we got two John Moxley, but he has a unique idea with Adam Copeland. I do like that because think about Adam Copeland. Let's not forget there is another guy that definitely could be part of this picture, guys. And Walter, I'm going to lead it to you to continue this conversation as we can really go around the horn and talk about Christian Cage, who stands in line as the next, quote unquote, AEW World Champion with that guaranteed shot in that battered case of that clipboard after winning that Casino Gauntlet back at All In. Let's not forget, Christian Cage has a guaranteed opportunity for the AEW World Championship anytime he wants. All he has to do is sign on the dotted line, and it can happen. We saw him try to do it at Full Gear, and then this became a thing after all hell broke loose, and Darby Allin tried to T-bone their truck in a freaking car wreck collision. If Darby Allin shows up, by the way, tonight, then he's even less human than PCO, and I stand by what I say. Walter, what do you guys say regarding this fatal four-way? Do you think Christian Cage could impose his will during or after this match tonight? Could we maybe actually end at World's End with a new champion? Out of circumstance, could we get a radar return considering last year Adam Copeland beat Christian Cage for the TNT Championship and then got screwed, of course, after he used Kill Switch's own opportunity for his own fair gain. But we saw him get his revenge after driving Spike up his balls. Damn, but that's a whole different conversation. What do you guys say regarding this main event match, the AEW World Championship and World's End for that matter?
I don't like Chris's idea of Adam Copeland and a conquering hero coming at the end, because then it's not the end of the world. The point of this is the AEW, the world's end. You can't have a conquering hero if the world is ending. Let it end. Then somebody conquers eventually. Somebody comes out of the woodworks. If you do a conquering hero, then that's just a new beginning, not the end of the world. So, like, you need to literally have Moxley retain and do whatever Shane or whatever the end goal is. Do it here so we can be like, oh, holy shit, it really is the end of the world. So we can all go off air thinking, shit, where do we go from here? Like, you got to have that chaos. When 1999 was becoming the year 2000, everybody thought the world was going to end in that Y2K crap. Nobody knew what the hell was going to happen, and everybody was chaotic. You need to let that chaos sit and stew for a while, like, so we can be like, holy shit, I have to tune in Wednesday and find out what's going to happen. So now you market Wednesday at the same time. Don't do that conquering hero stuff, because then it's just like, ah, shit, somebody's a hero again. No, let it stew, let it cook, as the kids say, like JJ likes to say. So
Jose.
I need to let it sit there and stew in my brain so that we can have 1,000 other things to think about. Like, oh man, now they can do this, now they can do that. You're about to have this max deal. You need us to really think about it now. So let it end in chaos, like just like you did Rampage. This pay-per-view needs to end like that. Moxley needs to keep the title, and whatever that higher power thing, whatever the direction you're going in, let it happen. I don't want to see a conquering hero at the end of a pay-per-view called The World's End. Otherwise, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think something new is to begin. I like the fact you mentioned new beginning because that's also going to be New Japan Pro Wrestling's tour in Sapporo and Osaka in February, as they always do. But I was thinking about this a lot, and I did think about the name Adam Copeland, considering he's been out injured ever since that death-defying leap up the barbed wire steel cage Double or Nothing. But FTR, who's been a target by the Death Riders and were put on the shelf till January 1st because they weren't medically cleared, they said they weren't coming back alone. And the show is called Fight for the Fallen. JJ, who have we seen in the Fight for the Fallen advertisements with FTR, the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland? So I could definitely see Adam Copeland coming to the aid of AEW and FTR in what could be a trios match or a developing trios match, or maybe even a developing AEW Championship match down the line starting January 1st, not at World's End. To your point, World's End should be the end of how things are. We don't know where things go from there or how things begin. FT Red, bingo. Thank you, Nestor. And I look at this field. Switchblade Jay White has gotten the better of John Moxley each time they've had a singles match. The only way John Moxley has beaten Jay White is under triple threat circumstances. He didn't even pin the Switchblade to do it. It was last year during the Continental Classic semifinals that he was able to beat Jay White and Swerve Strickland in the 23-minute banger. Of course, that led to John Moxley facing Eddie Kingston in the finals, and Eddie Kingston won the tournament. Different conversation. I also look at Orange Cassidy. At this point, if he says, and even if he doesn't believe it, if he's basically building off a character saying that I don't care if I ever become AEW champion, I just care that you lose the championship, then okay, let him follow that MO. People have been waiting for the longest time to see Orange Cassidy put that AEW championship in his backpack. He hasn't yet. I don't think it happens here. Him and Adam Page and John Moxley have one of the damnedest blood feuds and Texas Deathmatch collisions that we saw literally last year at AEW Revolution. And one of those things right now with this Fatal 4-Way, I see two developing world championship sagas coming out of it at a point, and I see one not happening again. why do you think Orange Cassidy is back in here in the first place when he challenged John Moxley for the title at Full Gear? This got to be his last chance. And I think it'll be whatever, but he'll also be pissed off about it. I still stand by right now that Switchblade Jay White is the most dangerous obstacle to John Moxley's AEW World Championship because John's never beat the man in one-on-one action. And if Jay White doesn't get pinned, boom, he has a bow to go after John Moxley still. If this man is willing to freaking switch freaking blade run Marina Shafir, nothing's going to stop Jay White when he gets the opportunity one-on-one after that title once again. And as far as Hangman goes, with him and Christian Cage trying to develop something of a watch your back type analysis. Maybe they're trying to develop a different character dynamic for him and Adam Page to get him at another shot at the title, but I just don't see that happening in the near future. As far as Darby Allin goes, to Charles' point, though, it was Darby Allin and Sting that beat the Young Bucks at Revolution this year and retire, of course, the AEW Tag Team Champions. And I do think Darby Allin and John Moxley is a one-on-one that happened, but many people are also speculating Darby Allin could be the one to beat John Moxley for the title. I don't think they would do that though, Revolution. That still seems too soon. Like JJ and you said, this new beginning hasn't even started yet. What the hell does it entail if John Moxley purges the scene of those that aren't willing to go far enough than him to get the AEW World Championship, which again, we have not seen since it was dropped in that duffel bag at Wrestle Dream. I still don't even think it's in that briefcase, I'm being honest with you. And also, Fatal 4-Ways, no disqualification. You know the Death Riders are going to run rampant here. All hell's going to break loose. Chaos will ensue, and somehow John Moxley will escape with the title too. It's just a matter of how you end. I don't know if you end with Darby Allin trying to kill John Moxley or the Death Riders. I don't know if you end with the show up of Shane McMahon. I don't know if you end with a red bump and Shane McMahon helps the Death Riders freaking win. But either way, John Moxley is leaving with the championship and Marina Shafir having it in possession. I just want to see something that I don't even know right now that could happen on my mind and the show tonight. I can't just see John Moxley leaving, show goes off the air, we go into shenanigans, and now we're like, what? What the fuck happens now? Because this is it till January 1st, Fight for the Fallen. And the only thing we know about Fight for the Fallen, FTR showing up again, and they're going after Death Riders, and we got Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart. What else do we get to buy into? What else is left for AEW? What is the future of the AEW World Championship? Give me something to buy in at World's End before the new year begins. But yeah, bottom line, John Moxley leads the AEW World Championship. All right, so that being said, we don't know what swerves are in store, but we know this. World's End is going to be a phenomenal night of wrestling action, and I can't wait for it to begin. I can't wait for this show to end. I can't wait, honestly, for this year to end, and I can't wait to see what other unique first-time things not on our bingo cards happen when the new year begins. But what are your thoughts, folks, when it comes to the AEW World Championship? The future of AEW, John Moxley's AEW, who shows up, what swerves are in store, what victories are found tonight, what ends tonight, what begins here. Garments, non-copyright. Let us know your predictions real quick as we get ready to conclude. We thank you all for tuning in. We love hearing y'all's opinions, your analysis. By the way, believe in Joe Henry. I'm not going to overkill a gimmick. I already did the thing. But seriously, it's just one of those things right now where, again, we're just going to have to wait and see. And that's what the thought here. You never know what if there is a swerve and Paige is down with the Death Riders. That would be extremely out of the normal. I'm just saying, since she's been out injured. But hey, at least with her injury, we got more Harley Cameron. Yay. Feel the love. But that's a whole different conversation. But I see what you're saying. Swerve and Heyman and Page, I'm messing with you. Those two try to kill each other inside a lights out steel cage match, one sedated the other, and then concuss them. Not a million years. Swerve and Heyman and Page together, not a million years. Although Swerve says he will bounce back in 2025, Swerve Strickland and John Moxley could be very interesting. But I think we all can see that Swerve Strickland is going to first feud with either Ricochet or get revenge against Bobby Lashley. Just saying. All right. Well, I think that's all I got to say regarding this. Again, we see all your opinions. You guys are going 89% with John Moxley, while 3 people are going with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, believe it or not. And 1 person picked the Switchblade, Jay White. So we'll see what happens soon enough. Some quick comments here real quick. Christian Cage cashes in. Adam Cole returns, joins Death Riders. Kenny Omega returns. Can't wait. Omega, kiss the ring. AEW usually delivers on pay-per-view. Hopefully that remains true. And I think it will remain true. So good stuff. Before we conclude, does anyone got anything to say regarding Christian Cage? Do you think he gets involved in World's End here at all? And does he, get screwed maybe by Hook, or do you think he still just watches on from afar, doesn't try and take advantage of the chaos? Do you think Christian Cage plays any part before the year's end at World's End?
No, I mean the contract is basically money in the bank. He's got a year to cash it in, right? And he wanted it
Correct.
all in or all out.
All in.
Okay, so he's got till August. I don't see him cashing in anytime soon. I see him continuing to tease, but I feel like Christian is going to cash in his opportunity when it looks like Adam Copeland is about to become champion. That way he can keep and reignite that feud with his long lost friend that kind of got stifled after Copeland's injury.
It's fair. I mean, again, that's fair. I like that. And you think about all these people. John Moxley eliminates Switchblade Jay White, Heyman Adam Page, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. Optimistic figuring out there for people when it comes to Darby Allin. Optimistic figuring out there now when it comes to Adam Copeland. Optimistic figuring out there now by Swerve Strickland. Optimistic figuring out with MJF no longer having the ring, maybe he goes back after the AEW World Championship. Optimistic figure with Kenny Omega returning, the first man that wanted to change the world. Why John Moxley came in day one and DDT'd him on poker chips and ushered in a paradigm shift. Yes.
You just said something else that triggered Kenny Omega versus Mox, and
Ding,
Christian
ding.
cashes in on Omega.
The Canadian on a Canadian. Hey,
Because
could happen.
wasn't it Omega that took the Impact title from Christian?
And he took it from Rich Swann. Christian Cage took the
Took it
Impact
from
World
Omega.
Championship
Okay.
from Kenny Omega on the first ever Rampage.
I say we run that back because Christian has to take it from a baby face. If he
Absolutely.
cashes it in right now with this Death Rider thing, Christian becomes baby face.
Yep.
Or he turns the Death Rider's baby face because he's just such a good smarmy heel with the patriarchy. Neither one of those are things we want.
No.
So you've got to wait for Kenny Omega to get the championship back after fighting diverticulitis. And here's Christian Cage to kill that moment. Or Adam about to become champion, and there's Christian to kill that moment, which is even more poetic since Edge became the ultimate opportunist as the first ever Money in the Bank holder, and the way he cashed it in, setting the tone for every Money in the Bank holder that followed. For Christian to basically do that with this contract, that's just karma.
Yeah. That's long-term karma right there, JJ. And all those names I mentioned, who knows who else might be added to the AEW landscape and be in the conversation for the AEW World Championship. Again, I think several things tonight are going to end, but I think we really are in store for a lot of new, interesting scenarios to begin. And I'm not just talking about the AEW World Championship. But that being said, thank you all for tuning in. I think that's all I'll leave you with for now. There is a lot of speculation up in the air and what we're in store for come the new year, not just in AEW, but in general. So I hope you have positive New Year's resolutions ahead. I hope you have an optimistic outlook on not just your own life, but the wrestling business itself if you are fans. And I hope that you enjoy our coverage tonight of World's End before we deal with the last Saturday shenanigans of the year. Before we conclude, let's go around, promote a little bit of light, simple stuff where people can connect with us too. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. And again, Walter, I look forward on the call with you. And also, guys, we're great calling 0 hour. JJ, I know that you have a lot ahead also in your new year in general. So why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about what you've been working on and where people can connect with you?
You can find me on social media on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, X and Blue Sky at ROWJJ Williams, YouTube, of course, Casa D18 Studios. Can check out all the content that I've got coming up come the beginning of January. So much stuff. I've got the Return of Renegades Reviews, which has been back in spurts here for the holidays.
There
I've
and
got
there.
4 new shows that are debuting, all music-centric. Of course, we're not slowing down with watch-alongs and everything, even throwing a couple of retro watch-alongs in the mix, including my very first Pro Wrestling Guerrilla show that I ever attended on WrestleMania 21 weekend. So I got lots and lots of stuff, and you'll be seeing more of that stuff later on tonight as the trailers run for the Saturday shenanigans. But make sure you
Yeah.
come back tonight after World's End, as Noah said, for the last shenanigans of the year, as we will hopefully have a couple of special guests on the panel tonight to add in the chaos and help make Noah's final shenanigans of the year a little bit more hellacious than an average episode.
Damn it. But also thank you. And again, I'll see you on the Saturday shenanigans once this watch along concludes. Well, Walter, we're going to be busy not only tonight, but in the new beginning of the new year. Just saying. But go ahead and plug yourself where people can come out and find you and watch your back.
You can find me at Twitch at SRS 1983. You can find me on Twitter, Walter Alex Cruz, the Instagram walter.cruz.940, and the at Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel. We got games coming out, a gaming channel coming out in 2025. We got quite a few things that we got coming down the pipeline too. So yeah, just stick to Twitter, follow on Twitter and X and Twitch for all the updates. But yeah, this studio is gonna keep growing.
Yeah, and we're only just getting started. What a friggin' first year for the Super Rebel Studios. I don't think it's even been a full daggum year, but man, talk about metamorphosis, talk about changing the world. We're changing the internet with what we're doing. Safety, good to see you. And yeah, oh boy, indeed. Well, thank you for that, Walter. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Again, I'll see you all during the watch along, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Quarter before, just to hype up and make sure everything is in sync. But if you all wish to engage and follow me further, find me if you choose on the Twitter and on YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to AEW fam on the social medias. Again, go check out the last impromptu where I was moderating the absolute madness and chaos that ensued, where JJ usually deals with that on a weekly basis, and I do that once in a while, as my family drove me batshit crazy. Eric, James, JJ, and King, and all of us coming together talking about New Year's resolution, New Year hype, what's been good about this year, women in wrestling, etc. And of course, we will be far from done after tonight because I'm crazy. I'm watching all of this. My Wrestle Kingdom week kicks off my new year, and we'll be covering several of these shows. If you have a chance and you want to learn more about Stardom, check out Stardom Dream Kingdom. You can find a Bema pay-per-view, and you can follow them on the social medias. Follow Stardom, and of course, Walter and I will be kicking things off with watch-alongs come January 1st with Noah New Year, headlined by Shinsuke Nakamura and Uka Sasaki, former MMA fighter, looking to enjoy and win at his dream, taking on the King of Strong Style. We, of course, will go from there into AEW Fight for the Fallen with the mother of all simulcasts when they go to Max. And, of course, the fun and action and coverage. It's just getting started in the new year, folks, when it comes from there. We'll also be covering Marigold's show, Marigold First Dream 2025, headlined by Utami Hayashita versus Saray for the Marigold World Championship. And we also might take a look at Stardom's new show, Stardom New Year Dream, excuse me, where we know that Mello will be making our in-ring return, and Athena will also be involved in that show as well. Makes me wonder if we're going to get more ROHAW and Stardom crossover. I'm just saying. And speaking of crossovers, Intinyon, Intingo, Walter, I hope you got plenty of rest and you're ready to watch these shows live. We will be, of course, covering both Wrestle Kingdom 19 and Wrestle Dynasty in their entirety come January 4th and January 5th. As of course, that all leads into the Raw on Netflix and NXT Year's Evil, the first 7 days of the new year, covering all things wrestling across the board, not named TNA. And again, folks, we do all this. We love covering all the wrestling because truly, I love following and encouraging all of this too, for I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! As only wish to continue to remind and encourage you on the winners, the losers, no better. It's just fans of opinions, this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, spread each other, protect mentality too, treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. It's as simple as that. I want to thank everybody that's been part of predicting this year, whether you're part of the leagues, part of the panels, part of the conversation, part of the chat. Thank you all so much for making this such a fun, open forum where people can just be themselves, fantasy book, have fun, predict, and just truly have a time of their life, even if it's as long as a Monday Night Raw back in its prime, as I see now at the 2 hour mark. Damn it. But again, I can't thank all you enough for the fun that we've had this year. And yes, all 5 leagues will restart next year. I will have a video tomorrow promoting them, also talking about the winners of each league, as well as hyping up the first city predictings. And we will be doing city predicting exhibitions with my ATW brother, the Kanji King, for both Wrestle Kingdom 19 and Wrestle Dynasty. So stay tuned for more on that. But for now, we're going to leave you with some rest. We're going to leave you some time to think. We're going to leave you some time to prepare for World's End tonight as we get ready for the watch along. Again, we will be starting here in about an hour, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will have, of course, your 0 hour commentary crew hyping up the show and covering those 3 matches. And then me and Walter will be on the call for the main pay-per-view come 8 p.m. Standard Time. And get your predictions in. They are finalized at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not a minute later. So good luck to all of you. But thank you again, gentlemen. And with that being said, like Kenny Omega fashion, I must bid you all now a fine adieu. So until later on this eve, this has been the conclusion of this year's series of City Predicting. And until next time, as always, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. Gentlemen, the world's end is upon us. And either way, I think we'll be feeling fine. It's been a pleasure. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you real soon once again here for Simply Predicting.
Bye,
Adios.
guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, always remember, folks, rumors are just that. Remember that. Thank you again, everybody. It's been a phenomenal year. I've loved doing this, and I can't wait to do it again come 2025. The world's end awaits! Let's freaking go, Osprey! I need to call this shit. That'll be the match of my life. All right, I'm going to hit the button now. I've already been on way too long. Good grief. Good Lord. I am insane, and I accept my insanity.